Well, I think the content of the report is scandalous. If you were to look at it page by page, and the infractions and the number of institutions that have been captured as either having misappropriated funds, having misapplied funds, and in some instances not having the ability to account for resources that was given to them as part of the nation's fight against COVID-19. It clearly is an indictment on government. The reason is because we were all told that the reason why our economy is in this current state was largely as a result of the effects of COVID. Now the audit indicates that we got above 21 billion to fight COVID, and we spent just slightly over 11 billion to fight COVID. There was a balance of 10 billion. So it is now clear that nobody can blame COVID-19 for the current state of affairs. But what is also clear is that a lot of the resources were misapplied, I would say embezzled and misappropriated. How do you justify the fact that some $81 million, which is a balance that we are owed for an amount that we had, used to pay for COVID vaccines, is still outstanding? How do you justify the fact that the Ministry of Information could pay itself, its staff, risk allowances without authorization from the president or the chief of staff? How can we use COVID-related monies as seed money to open a bank? And how do you explain this facility in Adaklu, in the Volta region, which has been rented for 25 years at such a colossal fee, when indeed that amount could have bought such a facility not once, not twice, but even 3 times? So I am scandalized that the President of the Republic has chosen to feign ignorance about the report and its content. Because as a president who ran on a promise to fight corruption wherever it occurs, who promised us that he was even going to deploy the ANAS principle, and for you to see a report of this nature published, which has generated a lot of public anger and revulsion, you would think that as he came into our homes almost on a weekly basis during the height of COVID, and given that this report is very damning, suggesting clearly that a lot of the resources that should have gone towards fighting COVID were not used for that, the president would have addressed the nation, come into our homes once again to tell us what he intends to do in as far as his appointees, ministers, and other public officials are concerned. And I say so because in other parts of the continent, specifically Malawi, where they also conducted an audit into COVID expenditure, the president addressed the people of Malawi and indicated very clearly the type of sanctions that those who have been indicted by the auditors in Malawi would face. He even told us of how his Minister for Labor, who utilized COVID resources to, attend an event abroad, had already been dropped from cabinet. So that is what Ghanaians expect our president to do. But the lethargy and this nonchalant posture towards the audit report raises a lot of questions, and I think that is very worrisome.